Hi friends, so today for math, we're just going to continue on our multi-step story problems. So our standard is the same that we've been using. It's just solving multi-step word problems with different whole numbers and using the 4 operations, which include addition, subtraction, multiplication, and division. So today for our I can statement, it says that you'll be able to determine what operation needs to be used to solve a story problem. So sometimes you only need to use one operation, sometimes we need to use more than one. And so we'll get into that. And then the second part is solve story problems using all 4 operations like I have said and which are stated right there for you. So something that I've talked a lot about is keywords. And so on here it says just to remember to look through keywords in your story problems. This will help give you a hint and a better idea of what operation you will need to use to solve a story problem. And like I said, you may end up using more than one operation in a story problem, but you may not. So the important thing is I put up online on our Google Classroom, there's a resource page that says resource on it, and you can click on that and it'll give you keywords that are for each operation. And so that'll help you determine which operation you should be using, okay? So our next slide is steps to solving a story problem. So I know we've talked about it in the classroom a little bit, but I think it's good to talk about it again on here. So my first key point is to read the story problem to yourself slowly, sentence by sentence. Can you describe what is happening in your own words? So once you read a story problem, think to yourself and just try to make sense of it. And, does it honestly make sense to you? Maybe you have to reread it again. Maybe there's part of it you need to reread. And if it does make sense, maybe try reading it just one more time, just to fully understand and get your mind wrapped around what's happening, what the question is truly asking you. Finding those keywords, making a plan of how you're going to solve the problem. And when you're doing that, you're asking yourself questions about okay, what information do I already know? So what did they give me? What do I still need to know? And then finally, what are we trying to answer? What are we trying to figure out? Okay, because in a story problem, they'll give you some important information. You're going to have to find some of that important information to get to your answer. Okay. So ultimately, you're just trying to make sense of that story problem. So today what we're going to do is we're going to go through one story problem, but it goes over a couple different slides. And so I thought this would just be a fun way rather than just doing basic story problems. I thought this was kind of a fun way to do it. Okay, so we're going to be talking about Spider-Man. So the movie Spider-Man Far From Home. So it says the principals at Carver and Bunger Middle Schools want to take the students on a field trip to a movie. There are 628 students at Carver and 506 students at Bunger. So the question is, what do you wonder about this information? So you're probably thinking to yourself, well, we probably at some point are going to have to figure out how many students are there altogether. Probably at one point. That might be something that you're wondering about. Or you might be wondering, is there going to be enough for everybody to go to those movies, or is it going to have to be split? Okay. And the next bullet point, it says in 2 weeks at the Crossroads Cinema, Spider-Man Far From Home is playing on 4 screens all around 1 o'clock. What do you wonder about this information? So maybe something you wonder is, are we going to all be able to go see that movie at the same time, or we're going to have to break it up and go at different times? Or maybe we will be able to go at the same time, or maybe it'll be different days that we have to go because there might be too many students for the seats, or maybe there'll be enough seats for all of the students. Okay. So it says, are there enough seats for all the students to see the movie at the same time? So this is our first question. So it says, use the information to the side to answer the question. So the first thing that we probably are going to have to figure out is when we look at this data, it tells us, okay, so Carver has 628 students, Bunger has 506. And then below that, it gives us the 4 theaters that are open, and it tells us how many seats are available at each of those theaters to watch this movie. So the first thing you got to think about is, what do I need to figure out first? We were given this information. What information do we still need to know? Okay, so the first thing that you need to figure out is, well, how many total students between the 2 schools are going to be going? Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to add these 2 numbers together. Okay, so let's see. I maybe shouldn't have done it like that because I kind of went over it. But okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to do your 628. Okay, and you're going to add that to 506. Okay, sorry, my handwriting today isn't very good. Okay, I have to do it with my mouse pad, so you're going to have to kind of bear with me a little bit. Okay, so we always start in the ones. 8 plus 6 is 14. So you do your 4, and then you'll carry your 1 to the tens place. So 1 plus 2 is 3, plus 0 is still 3. Okay, and then 6 plus 5 is 11. So we just keep our 11 here. So there's going to be a total of 1,134 students. Okay, now that is super, super important. I'm going to put that up here. So 1,134. And then I'm just going to click this and kind of link it over here so we kind of know like, oh yeah, that's right. That's what that is. Okay. Now I'm going to erase this just to kind of give it some space. Okay, so the next thing we got to figure is, well, how many total seats are available, right? Because now we know how many students are. Now we got to figure, okay, is there enough seats for enough people to go? Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to add all 4 of our number of seats. Okay, and that'll tell us how many seats are available. Okay, so 127, and then 275. And I'm just going to do all 4. I know in the classroom I talked about you could do 2 and 2 and then add those. But just for time's sake and stuff, I know this video might be a few minutes longer than usual. But I don't want to go too fast for you guys either, because then you may not understand it that way either, and that's not good. Okay? All right. So we have all those. We're going to add it together, and then we're going to see what we get. Okay? So if you go through, I've already kind of done the pre-work on all of this. So if you add your ones column and you add 7 plus 5 plus 0 plus 9, you're going to get 21. So I'm going to leave my 1 there, carry my 2. And then if you add 2 plus 2 plus 7 plus 5 plus 9, you're going to get 25. I'm going to put my 2 there, carry my 2, keep my 5. And then when you add 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1, you're going to get 9. So there are 951 seats. Okay, so here it says, finally, we did both parts. As you can see, both operations were addition. So it says, are there enough seats for all the students to see the movie at the same time? Well, if there's 1,134 students and there are 951 seats, do we have enough? No, we don't. Okay, we have more students than we do seats, so not everybody's going to be able to see the movie at the same exact time. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So this just says, it's just a kind of a continuation, and I kind of did this part. It just says, are there enough seats for all the students? And then the question is, how did you determine if there are enough seats? So the way that we determined it was we added up how many total seats there were, and then we compared our seats to our students. And we noticed, well, there's more students than there are seats, therefore there's not going to be enough seats for everybody to go at the same exact time. Okay. All right. Number 9, it says how many more seats are needed for all the students to see the movie. So it says use the information from the previous problem. So we knew how many students were there. Well, there was 1,134. Okay. And how many students, or that's how many students there were. And how many seats were there? Well, there was 951. So you're going to subtract the number of students from the seats that we do have available. And then this answer will tell us how many more seats we would still need to get. Okay, or these are the number of students that are left over that don't have a seat for this movie. So 4 minus 1 is 3. Can you do 3 minus 5? No. So you got to borrow from your neighbor. They have 1, so you can borrow it. So that'll become a 0. This will become 13. 13 minus 5 is 8. 0 minus 9, can we do that? Nope. So you borrow from your neighbor again. That becomes a 0. This becomes a 10. 10 minus 9 is 1. So you need 183 more seats for all the students to be able to see that movie all at the same time. Okay? All right. So let's head to the next. Okay. So your assignment is going to be your, last week I did a Google form, but I didn't see very many participation on that. So I'm just going to skip that this week. So for our assignment, you're just going to go into IXL. I have it linked. You're going to be doing the multi-step word problems involving subtraction. Okay. And then I also just said there that there's that link under this tab. Okay. All right. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you.